Well, speaking of widows and orphans, we have an announcement to make here, which is that you and I are going to Ukraine first week of May, and we're doing stuff. What are we doing? Why is this exciting? How can people help?
We're doing that thing that St. James speaks about in his letter, which is this is a religion that is pleasing to God, to take care of widows and orphans in their need. And unfortunately, this past year, the events in Ukraine have hyper-fixated on the political angle. Mm-hmm. And I know that there are people, you get 3 people in a room, you're going to have 4 political opinions. There are people who fall on different sides of the extent to which the West should be contributing to, Ukraine's self-defense. But there is no debate among Christians that we are obligated among all people to help widows and orphans in their distress. And so that's what I want to do. Is there are people in Ukraine right now who don't want help, they need help. I know of one hospital where people have no limbs. That hospital needs bandages. That hospital needs painkillers. That hospital needs, prosthetics. So this hospital in Lviv, I want to go with yourself and deliver aid. These are, this is the help from the greatest country on the face of the earth, the United States of America, and they're not going to abandon you in your hour of need. So I want to go there. I know of an orphanage, a couple of orphanages in Ukraine, which have constant need of food. Father Roman in Lviv, at the beginning of this, a year ago, he had 800 orphans. Now he has 300 because about 500 of them have been, sent out. Families were able to take them in. Some were able to go to Poland and whatnot. But he still has 300 mouths that he has to feed. Imagine having 300 mouths that you have to come up with food and clothing for every day. So it's a constant stress for him. And he's a married priest. He has his own wife and kids, So to go and help, take care of these kids, it's not extraordinary stuff, but it's just the basic things: food, clothing.
Now, last time we did this, I packed up 5 suitcases filled with medical supplies and took it with me. What are we going to do this time? I mean, apart from us bringing boxes of this stuff over, how else are we going to be helping? Are we going to be driving stuff across the border from Poland or what?
No, a lot of it you can, cost money, but you can buy stuff in Ukraine. And so I think a lot of it is simply,
terrific.
I mean, how do you carry, supplies for 300 orphans?
Right. And shipping it there is out of the question.
They can buy food. Like if they don't have something, for example, in Ukraine, it's possible to get it in Poland or in Slovakia or in Romania. So simply, it's just giving them, here's $500. His parishioner is going across the border in 2 days. He can buy,
I see,
all kinds of fruit and cereal and mittens and pants and underwear. Mm-hmm. So the most efficient way is just simply to give money to people who are trustworthy, like Father Roman, and say, here. And they know better than what we do.
Yes.
And the other thing I want to do is, there's a bishop in Kharkiv, and I want to, as you said earlier, Matt, about spotlighting good and holy bishops. There's this Ukrainian Catholic bishop in Kharkiv who wouldn't leave his flock. And my bishop, Bodan, was telling me, when the building was the windows were all busted out of the apartment building, he didn't leave it. And throughout the winter, he stayed in his apartment with no windows. No windows in the apartment building.
And this isn't like winter in Florida.
No, this is Kharkiv, Ukraine during winter is not comfortable. It's not Tampa, I'll tell you that. And talk about having the smell of your sheep, talk about people wanting to actually support a bishop who's living the life. Mm-hmm. Well, now's your time. People have been complaining about bishops for a while and priests. Okay, fair enough. Here's a bishop who in wartime stays in his apartment with no windows in it because his flock are also in their apartments with no windows. and they have to suck it up, So I want to go and I want to see, what can we do to help you?
Yes.
You need new windows.
Absolutely. I want to come up with a very specific list of everything we plan to do there. The more research we do, the more conversations you have with people there, like what exactly is it you need, how much money, and for what. And I want to help you raise it. I want to bring some of my own money, and let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I know is like just gas money for priests, who are trying to minister to their dispersed flock. They all used to live around a parish, but now that house is burnt out because of a Russian missile. So they still want to come to their spiritual home, their parish, but they live 5 miles away, and they're living with 3 other families in a place. So it's just being able to give a priest, gas money, things we take for granted. That's huge right there.
And what's cool about this is, sometimes you hear about these different organizations that are helping Ukrainians, and I'm sure they're doing a great job, but what's going to be great, I think, with what we're doing is we're going to come up with very concrete things of what we want to do, and then people can support that financially or not, and then we can tell them exactly what we were able to accomplish if people feel so inclined. So
right.
We'll get a website up soon with those specific things, and I'll make a post about it. And while we're over there, I'd love to do a few videos with people and show them the kind of help that they're offering.
Right.
And this doesn't go to Father Jason. This doesn't go to Matt Fradd. I know it's very cynical to have to even respond to that claim, but this isn't. Right. We're not making money at all from this.
During the past year on my parish website, we put up a kind of a general Pray for Ukraine fund, and people could donate there. And then they would, in the little memo there, they would put how they wanted that money to be spent. And our target at that time was like 7,500 or something. But that was one way that people do it, is they just specify, I want this to go towards, Father Roman's gas money as he's ministering to his parishioners. I want this money to go towards, the bishop and his flock getting windows in their house, in their apartments. But yeah, whatever you put up there, it'll go to specific needs, not wants, that are for his little ones and for his good shepherds who are staying with their flock.
All right. Well, this is going to be great. I'm really pumped. Hey, thanks for watching that clip. Would you like this beautiful, very high quality, definitely not made in China, not that there's anything wrong with that, Pints with Aquinas beer stein for free, sent to your door? Would you also like a copy of The Jill sent to your door 4 times a year? This is the Pints with Aquinas newspaper, by the way. If you do, go to mattfradd.locals.com and become an annual supporter for any amount. We'll send you that stuff for free, and you get a bunch of other free things in return. You'll get more information by going over to mattfradd.locals.com. Thanks.